emotional support drinks. I always have 2 at least.
Cool. All right. Okay. Says we're live on that end, and we are going to get started. Here we go.
Awesome.
Tonight, one show dares to go too far. One show that they don't want you watching. Broadcasting straight from the underground, this is Zombiepalooza Radio Live. And, well, you know, I got it on the shirt, I got a t-shirt, I got it on the back over there. Yeah, so I'm your host, Jackie Chin, and for the next hour, we're going to be ripping open the world of horror and showing you what is really underneath the skin. No filters, no safety nets, just blood, sweat, and pure practical magic. Tonight's guest, oh, you're really not ready for this. Special effects artists who don't just create horror, they build it, stitch it, and bring it screaming to life. First, a mastermind of transformation, turning fears into nightmares, Gina Martire. And along with her, a creator of Chaos, Chaos? I don't know what Chaos is. A creator of Chaos, which is what we have. Turning faces into nightmares himself and a surgeon of the macabre. We have William Spataro. Spataro?
How y'all doing?
Yeah. All right, I did it. Woo. Together, they don't just work in horror. They together bleed. So crank up the volume, lock the doors, and don't say I didn't warn you. Because once we start, there's no turning back. Oh, and viewer discretion? Yeah, we ignore that. All right. Up first, we have the lovely Gina. And I'm going to put you up on the big screen and transition you over there. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's been a day.
It has been a day.
When you sit down to create a piece, what happens first? It's emotion, image, or instinct?
To create a piece, I would say image, because I try to go with everything from references. Usually I'm trying to either replicate something or make something realistic. So I always go by, you know, what you would see in reality.
A lot of people can copy a look, but not everyone can create. What separates a true special effects artist from someone who's just following tutorials?
I think that a lot of it has to do with being able to, you know, a lot of like how I explained this before is it's like you're doing something different all of the time, but like you'll use the same skills to do different things. So if somebody completely pulls an idea out of nowhere, you know, that I want somebody's head cut off, but I want them to explode and do this and that, it's like you need to be able to do that even if you haven't done it before. And it's a matter of like having the skills and the ability to do that, I would say.
I have a neighbor I'd like to talk to you about after the show. So there's a psychology also to the side of what you do. You're literally designing fear. Do you ever surprise yourself with what you come up with?
Not really. I don't think so. Just because a lot of times I am just trying to go off of some kind of realism. Like I'm not really like a creature effects artist too much or anything like that. And more or less like I do a lot of like realistic wounds and injuries and things like that. Prop weapons. So basically like the one thing I can say is like sometimes my paint jobs kind of surprise me. Sometimes I'll be like, oh wow, that really does look like a whatever, as opposed to like a prop of that thing.
What's something that you created that made you stop and go, wow, that came from me?
Maybe the baby birds that I did for a movie called There's Something About the Children. There's something wrong. Sorry, there's something wrong with the children. I had to make these baby birds that had to go in a nest. It's like some little boy kind of terrorizing his sister with this nest of dead birds or something. And that was probably my big thing that I was really proud of. And I've somehow just kind of become like the bird lady. I've made four different types of
Yeah,
birds
4.
at this point. My headless chicken, I made a headless chicken and I was really happy with that because I mean it had like a full body underneath it and it had to articulate and everything. And I think that was pretty legit. That movie was called Mysterious Circumstance.
I love that. I love that for you. So, how do you balance the technical precision with your creativity without losing one or the other? Because I know you do like fabrications and you do a lot of different kinds of things in the special effects world.
I would say like you asked me how I balance the two basically.
Yes.
Um, I don't know. I kind of look at everything a little bit differently. I feel like I don't necessarily look at everything as a creative as much as I look at everything from like a practical standpoint. So for me, it's almost like not really a balance, but like a kind of a lopsided, like I'm a little bit more technical than I am creative in a lot of ways. I guess where the creativity comes out is just trying to figure out how to do something, whether it's how to fabricate or what kind of mold I need to make, how I need to create that mold, how I need to, what material I need to use for that piece. Like that's
Hmm.
where the creativity comes in. So I think it's a balance of the technical part, trying to kind of like create the actual thing, like make whatever it is functional and everything, and the other part just kind of figuring out how to go about it. I
Yeah,
would
just
say that's
an amalgamation of everything, pretty much.
Bill, your son is just running laps. So if my light gets
Is that
unplugged,
my is that is that my cat Vincent?
that's Vincent. Yeah,
Uh,
he's just running like back and
he's a
forth in front of me.
he's a fucking demon.
What's the
One moment he's like Hannibal Lecter and super intelligent, and the on the other half he's just dumb as a box of rocks.
cool,
I think
cool.
I need to turn my phone on,
What's
do not disturb.
what is the biggest misconception people have about practical effects artists who are female?
That we can't do the work. I think that that's really the biggest misconception, or that we're just there to assist or just to do like, make things look pretty, put those final touches. Like a lot of times we're not looked at as the people who are like in it, getting, really down and dirty, like making the molds, getting covered in plaster and silicone and whatever else, like doing the shop work. I think that's kind of a misconception. There's a lot of us out there, but I think that a lot of times that does come up. Like they just expect you to have like very minimal skills for some reason.
Right. In a world leaning heavily towards CGI, what does practical effects still do better on a human level?
I mean, for me, it's tangibility. It's the fact that you can actually, the actor has to actually interact, like physically
It's
interact
real.
with, yeah, it's real. Just having to physically, and like you're actually getting sprayed in the face with blood. It's not just you like pretending you are, like that kind of stuff. I mean, I think there's like an amazing skill level when it comes to actors acting against nothing, like
I was
when it's all
I was gonna
digitally
William,
composited.
William, just
I
let her
was gonna.
let William
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
let this part I just want to hear her. I just want to hear what Gina has. Go ahead,
Uh,
Gina.
I think I got lost. I forget what I was
So
saying. Something, oh,
the
tangibility. Yeah.
yes.
I was saying like there's such a difference between like I think there's an amazing skill for people who can act against nothing, like just
Mm,
the green background and anything, but like when
right.
someone actually has to physically coordinate a fight or has to work with a blood rig or has to deal with the mess, I think it just makes it more I don't know, just it's just better to me like to see because you know that that person's actually dealing with
Right.
whatever you're seeing.
Yes. And we have been since that film with all those bazillion zombies that was in it, World War Z or some whatever the heck it was, that since that point we have been dealing with a lot of things that are CGI, and there are a lot of people out there that are like, I just want to see the practical effect of a human in the film, and don't want to lose that.
Right. Yeah,
Because
I
that's
think that
part of the film. That's part of the whole interest of watching.
yeah, I think that that's a big thing is just wanting to see, like you said, just the humanity involved in it. And I think that also it's just a matter of as far as wanting to see it on screen. Like I think it's a good thing to mix at this point in time.
Right.
But I'm so sorry. The
No,
cat just took my
I
flowers out of
am
my
good with the
arrangement and
cats.
walked out. He just like took an entire flower arrangement that I've been
No
working on.
flowers for
Like
you. Oh
I was like,
my goodness.
okay,
All
it is.
right.
Like he knows that I'm supposed to be doing something, so he's just terrorizing everything that I would usually yell about. Um,
Behave.
my goodness. Okay.
So,
So anyway, but yeah, I think that it's a really good thing to mix at this point. There's a
right.
lot of things that have like a good, healthy, like mixture of CGI and practical. And I think that for a little bit of time, not a very long time, I want to say early 2000s,
Yeah.
it was a lot of CGI, like
I think
CGI
it's because it was new.
monsters.
Do you think maybe because they were like, hey, we don't have the boundaries that we used to have with only doing practical effects, so now we can do anything we want to. But then
Yeah.
when do you think that gets to be too much?
When it's not, I want to say, I mean, honestly, when it's not good,
Right.
in my opinion, it's just like when it looks very like, video gamey, like where it doesn't look like a movie. It doesn't look like real people interacting with real things. It looks like a computer. Like it kind of like if you have to suspend your disbelief that much, I think that that's when it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
bad. But for me, like the turning point was, and maybe not everybody agrees with this one, but for me, the turning point was the release of Adam Green's Hatchet. That was like kind of what like clinched me wanting to be in special effects. I mean, I've wanted to do it for as long as I remember, like since I was a little kid, but what made me actually pursue it was that movie because everything was CG, and then they came out with, if we can't do it practically, we're not doing it. So
Right.
that was like a big deal.
Have you ever hit a creative wall where your hands knew what to do, but your mind just would not cooperate? And what did you do to get out of it?
Um, with sculpting, I mean, there's been a number of times when I've been making like a mask or something like that, and I have a design, that I know I want to do, but it's just not translating. It's like there's a disconnect between what I'm seeing in my head and what I'm actually putting down in the clay. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if I could say that there's been ways to overcome it. I mean, there's been so many times that I've just been like, you know what, forget this one. I'm just gonna redo it or you either have to redo it or I guess like the other thing is walking away for me is really helpful. Just like if you start to get to that point where you're getting frustrated, quit for the night because tomorrow you're going to look at it with like a whole new, fresh set of eyes.
Right. And or do you think that it's a good idea to have multiple projects going on at the same time? Is that like I've interviewed a lot of authors who sometimes they get stuck in a scene. They have a couple of other projects that they're working on. It might be a screenplay. It might be something totally out of the genre that they're used to creating in. Do you have anything like that or any other ways that you would find to be able to help get your creativity back to what you need to finish?
I think it just kind of depends. Like, there have been a lot of times when I've been working on multiple things at once, and they're usually very different things. Like I think at the same time I was working on think there was a time where I was like making like prop hammers and knives for like a short film or like this big bottle while I was also having to like create these makeup effects and like do these makeup applications and stuff like that. I think that it's fine to juggle as long as you could prioritize. As far as it like really kind of putting your creativity back, I don't know if that's necessarily how it works for me unless I come across something where it's like, oh wait, that is how you do that thing, and then hop back into the other one, like if I feel stuck that way. But as far as creativity goes, not so much. I just kind of think it hits when it hits, sort of. And but like if you have to get it done, then there's no choice, right?
Right. Yeah, but you got to eat too. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta you gotta eat. All right,
Right.
so we're going over to William, and you're up next.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it. What you got?
Here we go. When you design an effect, are you thinking like an artist or like someone trying to manipulate the audience mind?
I mean, I think that all stems from the same thing. It's from that artistic point of view. Like I know what I like to see. So, I kind of go from there. What I perceive is going to be the best look for what everybody else wants, and still, what I think looks good.
What do you believe actually scares people more? When they see it or what their brain fills in?
I'm a, I, you know, I'm a big proponent of, I like things that are implied. I think the imagination is, 1,000 times more horrific than what you could actually see on the screen. Um, yeah, I mean, I love things like that are just implied, but it's like it's totally messed up. But it's like, ooh, I didn't need to see that. My brain's doing the rest of the work for me, kind of thing.
Do you consciously study human fear responses when building an effect, or has that
No,
become an instinct over time?
no, because I've been a horror movie kid since I don't know, like 5, I guess. I don't know. I know what I like. You know what I mean? So and
Right.
everybody's different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's that's a hard thing to gauge.
There's a fine line between cool and disturbing. How do you know when you've crossed it?
Oh, I mean, I guess it comes down to how it reads in a script. You know what I mean? Like I could do some really cool gore makeup and blah blah blah, but it's like, how does it get that character get from there to the gore to the aftermath? I mean that's really on the call of the people shooting what we're shooting. You know what I mean? And there's things that I've done too that were like unbelievably excessive, but in the finished product you see a glimpse, or it's blurred out in the background, or things like that. So I guess it comes down to artistic interpretation, I guess. Is really what
Have you ever created something that genuinely unsettled you even after it was finished?
No. No, nothing's really. Yeah, no, I am since 4 or 5. I am completely desensitized at this point in my life at 55.
Do you think working in horror requires you to tap into a darker part of your own psyche?
Well, we're all already there, so I don't have to tap into necessarily anything. You know what I mean? It's what I do. Like, yeah, sure, let's show some guts. Let's do this. Let's do that.
When you start a build, what's the first thing you break down? The anatomy, materials, or the moment it needs to achieve on screen?
Materials right off the bat. Me and Gina have both sat down many occasions, and we're like, okay, shit, okay, they want a full-on silicone dead body. Okay, what do we need to buy or have them buy to start the build? And then we just go from there. Yeah, it's really about getting the materials, and then as long as we have the materials, there's your start point, and then we just go from there.
Are there particular places that you like to go to be able to get the materials you need? And any advice that you would give for someone interested in starting to create a build? Take them from kind of like the intermediate section,
Sure,
like
sure.
they've been doing some stuff already, but now they're going into a bigger build.
Well, okay, I'll put it this way: as far as prosthetics goes, if we have the money, if the money is in the budget, and myself and Gina knows, and everybody that I know in the industry, we all go to a company called RBFX. They are the top of the line, cream of the crop, prosthetic pieces. The catalog is extensive. They are absolutely fantastic. So if you have the money, go look at them. But for more like the everyday man, I recommend a company called mostlydead.com. Much more reasonably priced prosthetics and materials, but it's more accessible to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like where RBFX will have a prosthetic that I want that's $300. You know, you could probably find something not comparable, but like on more on your budget end from mostly.com, little pieces here and there that you can put together to try to emulate what RBFX does. But RBFX also hires like the best sculptors in the industry to come in and sculpt these fantastic pieces. So I cannot hype. I love RBFX. I can't hype them enough. That's if you have the money, that's where you go. If you're on a super budget, go to Mostly Dead.
That's really good information. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you. How important? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Gina, you agree?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say yeah, as far as like prosthetics goes. As far as materials go, I want to say that like pretty much all of us would recommend Smooth On for like silicones, a lot of their foams, things like that.
Yeah.
I've even used their alginate and everything, and it's been really good. I feel like that's a pretty big standard. You go to Reynolds, you get Smooth On products. I always liked going to that store in person when I was near one, like in Pennsylvania, but that was always dangerous, actually having it in front of you as opposed to like on a screen. To actually go through and shop like with a cart was a bit of a problem.
Way too much money.
Yes.
How important is understanding real anatomy when creating something that isn't even human? And I would like Gina's input on this.
I think that it's important kind of no matter what, just so you know, you can get an idea, but like it doesn't even have to be human anatomy. Like you might be creating something that has like a lot of demons, for example, that you see in movies, they might have like kind of like a bat nose or something like that. You might want to look at animal anatomy, or you might want to look at um, you know, just different anatomy, like sometimes like deformed anatomy, stuff like that. I think it is important, but I don't think you have to stick to just straight humans.
What's one technical mistake you see beginners make when that instantly breaks the illusion, William?
Too much blood. Too much blood. It's the one major flaw in a lot of like unseasoned makeup artists. It's just you'll put this really cool prosthetic on somebody, like a wound, let's just say, and then you slather it with blood and gel blood, like covering the good work that you've actually done putting on that prosthetic. I think restraint is something that a lot of people need to do, as far as the blood goes, and it comes back to like looking at actual reference material and, unfortunately the real stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, you throw blood all over this and that, and it's like, but in real life it doesn't bleed that much, or there wouldn't be, or the blood would be over here, not here, and and it's just you're covering up your work, so
right.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing.
And Gina, what is yours?
Edges. Just like any kind of edges, like if they're doing like some kind of prosthetic pieces, just where you could see the lines clearly where the pieces are, because they just like that goes to show somebody who either doesn't know to blend or doesn't know how to blend. So those are like really amateur mistakes to make, I think.
Yeah,
just
blending's
like
key.
blending, not being able to blend or not knowing that you should blend, and like he said too, just covering everything with blood, covering your mistakes with blood, just, that.
We pick that out right away when watching a film. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at the blood over there. That's obviously covering up a seam, or, something that didn't get blended down. So it's like, oh shit, let's just try to camouflage it.
I would like to see if I can get you to go through a mental checklist when constructing an effect from concept to final execution. And I know that you have worked together
Yeah.
on a number of projects, and I would like to see if you could take one of those projects that you worked on and give us kind of like a idea of what that checklist would look like.
Okay. All right. So,
Um,
Gina, we did Don't Look Back, right?
yes.
The beaten to death scene, right? It's in the script. This guy is in a park. He gets beaten to death. It's incredibly graphic, which of course
Yes.
all got cut
Yes.
out of the
Yes.
film. But anyway, so me and Gina, okay, how do we approach this?
So I would say we normally look at it as, like we said before, you have to read what it is, and then you have to think about materials. And then sorry, there was like a fuzz. There was it's you have to think about that, and then I would say you have to think about how it would take place. And then you can always encourage that direction when it's time to do it on set, or I mean you can encourage it, but you can't make it happen. Um, just to cut real quick, just like sidebar on that movie, I will never forget the numbers. These are the numbers because I'll never forget them. When we read the script, I want to say I don't remember the number of pages. I think it was around 90 pages, something like
Oh
that.
my.
Yeah.
But there were effects on 34 pages, which was like
Oh,
crazy. 34. By the time we were done, there were 6 effects in the movie. Like
that was absolutely tragic. They cut they ran out of money basically in the budget, so they
mm,
cut everything. And what killed us was
Oh no.
it was the writer of Final Destination,
Oh
and
no.
this was his first time directing, and it was super low budget. So he had written all these amazing gore gags. When we sat at the first production meeting for, what was it, Gina, like 8 hours we were in
we
there
were there all day.
all day. And, we go around the table, all the departments are there, and like, okay, scene 12, blah, blah, blah. We go around the table, what everybody has to do just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Every time it came to us, they were like, oh, we're not going to do that now.
Right.
So they cut every gore gag pretty much out of this film. And it was like, we had sat down, we worked out everything, and they cut so much out. And the film was hyped because it was a quote unquote director of Final Destination. And it was like, oh my God, it was just, there's nothing there. There's nothing. So it got a lot of flack for that.
So I guess that could circle back to what happened with the beaten to death scene.
That makes my
Oh,
head
yes.
split.
Sorry.
Yeah, you could circle back to that. Because I was saying like you figure out what would be involved in each step of the scene. So obviously if it's a fight scene and somebody's going to be beaten to death, they're not just going to get hit once. They're going to get hit a bunch of times. So then you have to think about like, okay, if somebody gets hit here, that means we're going to have to put something here. And then you kind of have to
Yeah.
like sketch it out in steps, basically.
Yeah,
Just get an idea.
we turn it into a progression,
Mhm.
Swollen eye, swollen cheek, split lip,
But
broke
then the
nose.
other thing that I know, the little bit I know, is that the coloration of when you do something, it has to match what that looks like. Because when you get a fresh hit, it's not going to turn all kinds of pretty colors right away.
Exactly.
Talk about how that process goes from you just got hit to it's like a couple of days older.
Well, I'll tell you this. A lot of people don't want that realism. And I learned that the hard way. Bill knows I learned that the hard way because, I show up to set with my pictures of bruises like day 1, day 2, day 3, like all these progressions.
Right.
Because like that's how I look at it. I'm like, that's how I want it to be. And then
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. And they're going like, I don't know, day 7, there's not enough purple. And I'm like, it would be yellow and green, like.
And they've never seen reference photos, so they don't know.
Right. So it's just a matter of if you, it doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but like, I think it's important to have the knowledge, but to understand that a lot of times that's not what they want to see. So like, even if it's what makes sense, you might have to completely go another direction because it's
a lot of talking to production and trying to convince them like, it wouldn't look like this. But, and there's the argument, like, but we want this. It's like, but that's not realistic. But okay,
Hmm.
you're signing the check, so yeah.
Where do you think they get a lot of their ideas about how it's supposed to look? Because this hits on the thing of you have an idea, and that is great and wonderful, but I have the experience of doing the this, that, and the other to have that effect come off on the screen, which is why you picked me to begin with, I'm assuming. But now you're trying to tell me how to do my job. How do you do that? Because that's gonna happen. It's probably happened a lot. What do you do?
Gina, you'll agree with me. Perfect last example that we had was, more blood on the intestines,
Yeah.
and you can take it from there because I'll just get mad if I have to
I'm gonna
tell the
say
story.
it depends on who's telling you. I think is what's important,
And
because if
how?
it's and how they're telling you, because if it's somebody who doesn't have any authority over you telling you, no, I think this needs more of this, which that's happened a lot of times. That was a case where, we had an actor, an actress coming, going like, well, that's not what this would look
Actor.
like. And she's looking up like surgical videos and being like, look, look, look. And we're like, okay, but that's not what we're trying to do here.
But we've been
But
doing this for a long time,
yeah, so
so
like in that
thanks for
case,
the
when it's
input. Yeah.
thanks for the input, but
L-
disregard, right? But then if it's somebody who's ahead of you, you're just gonna have to do it. I mean, like you could
Yeah.
suggest, but if they say,
Yeah.
no, we want more blood, you just got to put more blood, whether it makes sense or not.
Because in the end, I hope this doesn't piss you off, but it's not your movie. It's
Yeah.
not your
Exactly.
movie.
No.
True.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And the sometimes I hear there are some actors that like to be a part of a film because they got a couple of cool people in there and all of that, and they find that the final rendition of the film, they don't come off very articulate or whatever happens. And so what they'll do is, instead of signing their name to it, agreeing to have their name on it in the credits, they'll pick a pseudonym for themselves. I'm going to ask this question. You don't have to answer, but have you ever had the situation where you had to pick a pseudonym for something that you worked on?
No. No, I haven't.
I've never had to pick a pseudonym, but I mean, you probably feel the same way, Bill, but I've definitely just been like, I don't want my name on that, you
Oh,
know?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't even put
Yeah.
me on it. Like I've definitely
Yeah.
had those feelings
It's
before.
not. It's getting erased from my IMDb. I don't want it
Mhm.
on there. I don't want to be associated with it. Just don't even include me.
Yeah.
Pseudonym not needed.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that sometimes these things happen, but there are different kinds of ways to be able to handle it. Some choose just to say, "Well, just put a pseudonym on there," and others just say, "Hey, that
Yeah.
ain't," because
Yeah.
your work when you do work on a film, people find out.
Oh yeah.
I know you, and there are different ways of being able to find out, and sometimes things don't always go the way you, as a creative, would like them
Oh
to
sure.
go, and you still want to do more work. So there's like a fine line. Sometimes you gotta walk.
That
Well,
I
I mean,
know. Sorry, go ahead.
good. I was just
I was
gonna. I
gonna.
was gonna talk when I first got to when I first got to Cleveland, and got up with Gina and teamed up with Gina. We got an independent film, and it was awful from the start, and there were things we were doing, our special effects, our makeups, blah blah blah. But then the director was actually doing his own on the side, special effects and makeups and stuff like that were really, I'm very humble. I don't have an ego, but they were very subpar. They were haunted house level FX. And so it just became this thing where it was like, well, I can't be associated with what you're doing. You know what I mean? I don't want people thinking, this is what me and Gina did. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know it
Yeah.
was unfortunate.
So talk
Yeah.
about how you have to be careful to on what projects you work on, and because you have, at the end of the day, your name, your logo,
Sure.
your stuff, and maybe reference it in a way where you're talking to the audience if they are finding themselves in a situation like this.
So the example I was going to bring up is I mean, I'll be real honest on this one. We
Go
did
ahead.
we did a cutthroat for something, and it didn't come out the way that I don't think either of us would have liked it to come out. But there were takes that it looked fine. And there were angles where it looked fine. But because the actor who was getting the makeup application was also the director and the writer and whatever else, he's looking at it from the perspective of, where do I look the best? Where am I performing the best? And we're looking at
Right.
it from the perspective, well, what looks best for the makeup effect?
For the effect.
And he picked
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he picked the absolute worst cut and worst angle he could have picked. But for him, it was probably a matter of like, yeah, but that's when I did really good. So it's like there's so much involved. Like, people don't realize how many people could be involved in a movie. I forget what we just went to see recently, but the credits went on forever.
The
And I
Mummy.
mean, like, yeah, The Mummy. I mean, there must have been 1,000 names plus on those credits. And it's like, people don't realize that a lot of times you're dealing with a lot of people. It's not just, you're doing what you want. You have to get approval from this person and that person and this person.
Right.
So it's just,
And that's why I
hard.
like working. Honestly, that's why I like working in independent film better, because it's such a shorter distance to get to the director.
That's true.
True.
Yeah. When we're doing independent stuff, it's like, hey man, what do you think? And you know what I mean, sitting right next to each other, because we're trying to make the best film on the budget that you have,
Right.
that we can, and I love that, and that's what I love about independent film is just there's so much more creativity for us,
Right.
and there's so much more communication.
All right.
Working on bigger things, it's just like I got to go through 14 people
channels,
to get an answer.
just
Like, what the fuck?
Yes. All right. So we have Gas Mask Avenger in the room watching on YouTube. And
what's happening, man?
He goes,
Hey.
I don't know, girl, boy.
That's Jacob, right? Jacob? I think that's
They
him.
say, hey ho. Hey
Maybe
oh,
it's not
not ho.
Jacob.
hey oh, not hey ho. Well, I'm gonna get hate from that. My mouth doesn't always do what it's supposed to do.
I was like, I can imagine him addressing me that way, but I don't know. Maybe.
If I screw up, I do it the good, and then I say, yeah, I did that. Love that video poster, Gina, in the background. What is that poster?
Videodrome.
Oh, Videodrome? This one?
Yeah,
Or
that's
this
what
one?
Gas Mask Avenger says. Love that poster in the background. Send hate mail to Zombiepalooza Radio at gmail.com. They say also, wait a minute. They say also World War II. Let's see. Bad word. Blows. XO. Just my opinion. And let's see, we have Lilith in here saying, biggest thing I had to learn was the blending. Both of you were a big help last year with it.
Okay. Awesome.
And
Cool.
I think that's Lilith Brooke. My eyesight is really bad too.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, our eyesight is bad.
Okay.
We all wear glasses. Shit.
I'm like,
yeah.
it's a little tiny print that is
What?
on my screen, and I'm right. I don't have my glasses.
What? I can't. What?
Right.
What did you say?
I almost didn't wear mine, but I figured I'd do like this the entire show. Like,
the body's in the back. I don't. What do I do with it now? I don't have a chipper. Damn. All right. So what's the most difficult? Making something look real or making it feel real on camera? We're going to go to William.
I mean, you do what you do, right? And then we go behind the monitors and the camera and stuff like that. Like you don't fully know what it's going to look like until you see it on the monitor.
Right.
You don't know, I mean, all you can do is the best that you can do, and then it comes down to like, how are they lighting it, like what angles are we going with it, and all we can do is just suggest things here and there.
So Gina, what have you produced that you knew was good on spec, but then when it went for what William was just talking about, putting it onto camera, that maybe the lighting was off or the texture wasn't showing right or something just didn't look the way it needed to on camera?
I mean, I can't think of a specific thing, but I do know that there has been situations where like they might be using a really high saturation color light or something, and you could do all this work, and then that high saturation, like red light, for example, is going to cancel out the blood. So you
Yeah,
almost have to make the blood black for it to show on screen, like that kind of thing. Like you have to alter, you have to know a little bit about color theory, and you have to alter what you're doing sometimes depending on the lighting. But also sometimes like even what you see in the monitor isn't going to be what it looks like
this
when
is
it's
true
done
too.
because they might completely change the color. Like
Right.
use Don't Look Back as an example again. Like I know the blood that we used. We used expensive Fleet Street blood, and there is nothing pink about that blood. And there are parts of that movie where the blood just looks like there's a part where there's like a scrape on somebody's face and it just looks hot pink. And I'm like, well, I know that wasn't that color, you know.
Do you know what time of day or what kind of lighting was in that piece where it came pop hot pink? Do you remember?
I think it might have just been, I think it was like an interior thing. I don't remember exactly, but I think it might have been like in a police station or something like that. But it wasn't a matter of like how they lit it. It was clearly something that they had done
In post.
after the fact, yeah, in post. Like maybe they needed to like lighten for something else or something to show up, and then they ended up doing it too much, or maybe they had to cool it
they
or
did
warm it,
they
and it
did
just,
color correction, and it
yeah,
just fucked it up.
Now
yeah.
I know that there is nobody that has come back to you and said, blah blah blah, this turned out blah blah blah, and it's your fault when it really had nothing to do with you. Don't name the film or anything. If in fact that has happened, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
No, no, I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't have nearly the number of things that Bill has or the caliber, I guess you want to say. Like you worked on some like Walking Dead, for example. I mean, then
Yeah,
you're dealing with
but
the
I've been doing this forever.
right,
So
right.
it's
But that's what
like,
I'm saying is like, but you've dealt with like the people who are used to seeing the top of the
oh
top of
yeah.
the top, whereas like
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
really. I've like for the
It
more
sucks.
like higher budget stuff that I have worked on, it's been like
Yeah.
prop fabrication more than makeup
Yeah. Yeah.
effects, and everybody's always
Yeah.
been happy with the prop stuff,
Right. So what do you?
except for oh, I just thought of one.
Yeah, no.
There was
Except
one.
for
There was a movie where they kept breaking all of our props, so we
I
basically
right.
had to
remember.
make a clause where we had to be like, guys, like if you use them in a way that they're not meant to be used, like if it's a rubber prop, you can't actually like poke it into somebody and like twist it around like in their stomach.
Drop
Probably
or
gonna
throw it on the
break.
floor.
Yeah, and it's like there was one scene where oh my gosh, they drove me crazy. It was I don't know what movie it was for, but I had to make a ball peen hammer, and I made so many of these things. And they were nice. I mean, I think I made like 5 of them or something. And they were
Okay.
all really nice. But for whatever reason, the actress put the ball peen hammer in her belt loop for the scene. Like that would have been an example where you would just use the real one. Like you just put that one in your belt loop, but she was like carrying it around in her pants or something, and it was like
And all
rubbing
that.
the paint off because it was like the friction of the denim against it or like of her belt or something. And it was like, well, yeah, it's not meant to be like continuously rubbed. it's meant to hit somebody. Like, so, you know, we
It's a
had to
prop.
constantly, yeah, it's a prop. Like, it's meant to hit someone. It's not meant to be rubbed. Like, a regular hammer isn't painted, you know? So it was just one of those, you know, one of those things where sometimes, that was a complaint we got. Oh, the paint's coming off, but it's like, but you're misusing it though. So
So what?
that was a
So
clause we had to add.
who? So you just had to keep making more of these because they were misusing and they wouldn't listen to you, or
No, I mean, we just kind of told them like,
people.
you know, like, what, don't do that. You know, it's just kind of like we've
Pretty
already
much.
made them, so I mean, like, just don't
But it
do
looks so
that.
real that we think we can do that, but it's not. It's hollow inside, or it's whatever
Yeah,
it is.
or if you want to continue to keep paying for them, okay,
Yeah, I mean, I'll make as many as you want if you're going to pay for
Yeah, if
them,
you pay
but
me.
we're not going to make you a new one for free because you scraped the paint off of it, you know. So it was like that kind of stuff.
So we got a shout out from Ronnie and Katie, loving this.
Hi.
Love
So,
you guys.
Love you.
I love that you're coming in, and please hit that follow button and all that other fun stuff so that
Love you, Ronnie and Katie.
Thank you. And so Avengers says, yeah, breaking that on on purpose is kind of a douchey move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had
It's
so much of that.
people who don't fucking know any better.
Oh God, no, there was another one. Okay, so this wasn't a prop that I made. It was just something that I kind of like patched up the paint on or whatever. But it was like a foam fire extinguisher with like a plastic
the
handle
fucking fire.
part.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The scene required somebody to I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out. There we go. Okay, like bonk someone on the head with it, just like bonk, you know, bonk them on the head. And for whatever reason, the actress spiked it like a football when she was done with the scene and it broke. And it's like, well, yeah, you just threw it on the ground as hard as you could. Like, you're supposed to fake hit someone with it and you threw it on the ground as hard as you could. So it's like, well, yeah, something is going to happen there. So that was like one of those.
Actors, what are you going to do with them?
It was so silly. Like, uh-oh, we have a guest. Oh, we have a guest.
Hi. All right. So,
is that my son?
No, Byron.
Oh, it's Byron.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. 4-legged, I'm assuming. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, what's something that you've always wanted to create but haven't yet, either because of limits or because it might be too much? And we're going to go to William.
Oh,
there's a shout out for Byron.
Absolutely. No, love Byron to death. Honestly, just nothing much. I just wish I had more disposable cash to buy more RBFX prosthetics so I could just go have some fun on a weekend with a photographer and just do something super cool, you know, just for myself or everybody else involved, you know.
For me, it comes down to the same kind of thing about just having extra money because it's not like a specific creative thing that I want to do, but I would love to be able to have a stock inventory of just molds.
Hell
and
yeah.
just be able to like crank out, you know, like, oh, I need a knife. Okay, here's a knife. Like just that simple. I mean, we're building one.
We're building up an inventory.
We're building up an inventory, but it would be so nice to be able to just like, okay, for a month, I'm going to do nothing but make molds. You know, and I'm going to buy 15 5-gallon kits of silicone, you know, like something crazy like that. But
yeah, have like $3,000 to drop on silicone. That's all.
That would get us about what?
I know that's
not much. It's still not much.
3 kits.
I know that stuff's not cheap. We're going to switch gears a little bit over here. I'm going to have to add you over here. And so while I'm doing the adding of everybody and moving things around for our next scene, give me something about your interaction of working together that has helped you both improve on your work.
Huh. I don't know. I mean, me and Gina have been like good friends for years at this point. So I mean, the communication is kind of effortless between the two of us.
And I think we don't have a judgment of each other when we give each other criticism.
Oh yeah.
Like I think you just accept it. Like, oh no, I agree. Or you could, you know, or we disagree. Like, oh, you know, I think that needs more of this. And then you'll be like, no, I think it's good. So it's like, all right, yeah, cool. If that's what you want to
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
you
It's
know?
it's it's always been like a very amicable like experience, to be honest with you, working with you. We both obviously are excessive movie fans and horror fans and whatnot, so we all know what we like and what looks good, and as far as practical makeup goes and blah blah blah. So it's like, it's just a good like it's a good give and take between the two of us.
Something I
Um,
think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
no, no, that's what I
Oh,
said.
no.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say something I think is kind of funny is like, I'm always, when we're working together, you're always like, hey, check my clay up. Like on my molds, you're like, oh, hey, come look at this like clay
Oh
up.
yeah, as far as the molds go, see,
Yeah,
you're the
like
mold
you
maker.
you
You're the
always ask
mold
like, come
maker.
look at my clay up, and I'm like, hey, come look at my paint job. So like we like kind of have our different, like Bill's like really, really good at painting. I'm like I feel okay about my painting, but I feel like Bill's like really good at painting. And then I feel like I'm more of like a, I don't want to say a better mold maker or anything, but I mean like
No,
a
no,
more
you
like
are. No, no,
resourceful, like
you
just a
are so
different.
OCD with your molds. I just let you roll with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be
So
great.
I think that helps that we kind of have like more of an interest in different parts of the skill set because
Oh,
the skills are
absolutely.
so broad. I think that that's helpful too. Because I think if we
Oh,
were
yeah,
both like hardcore into painting, we'd probably butt heads a lot because it would be like
yeah.
maybe I would think mine looked the best, maybe you would think yours looked, and we would just be butting
And
heads.
just to throw it out there really quick, me and you have literally never in our entire friendship had a fucking argument.
No,
Like,
no,
ever. So
mm-mm.
it's just the criticism is just always taken as constructive criticism
Yeah,
between the
because
two
that's
of
what it
us.
is.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's worked out fucking great, as far as like making things, doing molds or, prosthetic applications,
Hmm.
just we have that ability to communicate. So yeah, that works out fucking amazingly.
So there's a
Hmm.
question in the room, and hopefully I'll be able to read it without having anything going on outside of what the actual question is. What
Okay.
is the best and cheapest product name that you guys use for props and or for molds?
Oh, well, that's such a broad question. It depends on what you're trying to mold.
Best and cheapest.
I mean,
Um,
it
I
depends on the
mean,
I don't
project.
know if
I
that
mean,
there's a kind of two words kind of go bing.
well, okay,
Do
so
you,
I'll say with mold making, I don't think there is. Like, I don't think there is because I feel like you have to, there isn't a cheap, I mean, there is. There are people who make molds out of silicone caulking that they get at the hardware store or
Home
something.
Depot, yeah,
I wouldn't do that personally. I would use what's made for special effects and do it that way, or like what's used industrially. I would want to go with that as opposed to it. But yeah, with that kind of stuff, I would say I don't have like with molds, I don't know, but with makeup, I mean, I bought these like went to this weird like little mom and pop Halloween store and they had Tinsley transfers, which now Tinsley transfers are high end and they could be really expensive. But for these like little Halloween ones, they were something stupid like 6.99 or something like that. They were
okay.
like really cheap and they were like super good, super high quality. I would use those all the time. These like Tinsley transfers, like they were like bullet holes or like little cuts and
yeah.
things.
I know what you're talking
Like
about.
just the
Yeah.
ones that are made for like Halloween, they're great. No complaints
All
except the
right. So
color.
that's it's a little off. I've seen them up close. um.
Well,
So
you have to know how to you have to know how to apply them and blend them as well.
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah,
know
if
what I
they're
mean?
just
It's
stuck
not.
on, yeah, they're gonna look stupid, but you
It's
gotta
just
blend
not
them and
it's not a lick 'em and stick 'em tattoo. Like, you
no,
have to know how
no.
to blend the edges and melt your edges, on that stuff. But Tinsley transfers are fantastic. I've
Yes.
Hmm.
used them plenty of times. I've worked for Christian Tinsley, on Renfield. Fantastic guy. I love him to death. But you have to know how to apply the stuff.
Right.
You can't just like be like pull it out of the box and be like man and stick it on and be like this looks great. No, it doesn't.
I mean, that there's also the if you're a very beginner, And you're just you want to do something cool that maybe you and your friends get together and like maybe
I
you go
encourage
to
that
haunts or
100%.
something like that. Hell yeah! So it's not to say that you shouldn't use them, but use them with the ability that you have, and as you use them, you get better and better.
Oh, absolutely. It's all repetition.
Right.
If you don't practice, you're not going to get any better. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I firmly believe that everybody has some artistic talent in them. You know what I mean? And it's just about you have to keep doing it. You know what I mean? You
Right.
have to keep doing it.
Absolutely. All
You
right.
I
only
So
get
think,
better. Yeah.
yeah. I think where people falter is when they stop learning, where they just go like, "Oh yeah, I know now." But it's like you don't,
Oh,
you never know. Like we're
I've had
never done learning.
I've had students like that before, and like, oh, I
Hmm.
know. It's like, well, then you don't need to be here if you know. You
right.
Right.
never stop. You will never just all of us collectively as adults and just people. You will never stop learning until the day you die. There
All
is
right.
always something to fucking learn.
So that question came from Dead Door William, and if you know anything about Zombiepalooza Radio Live, you'll know that Dead Door William was a primary co-host for this show a number of years back. I'm trying to get him back on again, but he don't
Right
know
on.
that. But all right.
Okay.
So let's look at the picture in the slide, and who wants to go and talk about it?
Depends on what it is.
What is it? I can't see.
You can't see it.
Oh, there it
Very
is.
small.
I see it. That's
Let me see if I can make it bigger.
No, I can see it. That's a makeup I did. That's a fight makeup I did on my friend Nico Farrow
Ooh,
for a
yeah, that was great.
for an LSU film, not LSU, UNO film, University of New Orleans, short film called Cinephiles, which I am
Okay.
ferociously proud of. And yeah,
As you
everybody
should be.
did an amazing job. It's such an entertaining, like 20 minutes. Fledgling director Conor McGregor. This was his thesis film, and they contacted me to help him on, and we had a blast. And the key thing with independent film, he knew where to put the money. So he put the money into an actual stunt coordinator that I know, and myself and a friend of mine, and the cinematographer, and I can send you a link to it. I think I have actually, and but I highly recommend go check it out. It's a fantastic little short film. Yeah, no, it was so good, so good. One of the best film experiences I've had in my entire career, hands down.
Okay, let's go. We got a lot left to go. And we've already we're almost at the hour mark. So let's talk about this.
That's the same thing for you. It's the girl from the same short.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's Cinephiles. Yeah.
Yeah, same short.
That's a little behind the scenes. Yeah.
I asked you if I could get a photo of one of your creations going to attack you, and you
That's the closest I could come. Yeah.
I love when these artists can get a photo either before everybody is done with the film or whatever.
Yeah.
Before that individual has to come out of that, of them attacking the special effects creative. I especially if they're horror creations, I just love that. So I'm hoping maybe future reference, if you guys are out there making films, make sure you get some of those shots.
Yeah, we started doing those on The Walking Dead. That's what these all are. But yeah, we just started doing the obligatory like peeling the ball, like releasing the bald cap from the back of these guys' heads, and we all wound up taking photos, and it became a thing of like stretching out the backs of the heads. These people are in these prosthetics for like 12 hours, 12 hours worth of sweat and grossness inside those things. So it just became a thing.
All right,
Oh, that's from The Walking Dead too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah, Walking Dead World Beyond.
Hmm.
Oh, that's from Osiris,
Oh.
which was actually one of the last big films I did in New Orleans. Um, Sci-fi horror action film. We had all these amazing creature suits from Masters FX, and I love Todd Masters to death. He's had me on a couple of things. Yeah, but we were the creature suit wranglers on that. More Walking Dead.
That is, I really
That's
like
that's
the look on
that's
this.
that's 4 o'clock in the morning. She's wearing a puffy coat, by the way. It's like 32 degrees
Oh,
in
she
a national
is.
park. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
the poor thing was freezing to death. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning in Richmond, Virginia, in a in a state park, and it was like 32 degrees. It was freezing. And Linda Hamilton, once again, Osiris. She was amazing. She is one of I will stand by this hands down. She is one of the nicest people in film I have ever had the privilege to meet.
There you go.
That's some haunt makeup. That's from
The
oh god,
13th Gate?
we have 13th Gate stuff. 13th Gate is one of the best haunted houses, haunted attractions in the United States. Voted number one year after year after year down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Um, but yeah, we would come in. My buddy Dwayne owns the place. He's owned it for like, oh God, 30 years at this point. If you're ever in Louisiana, go to Baton Rouge. The 13th Gate is one of the best haunted attractions you will ever go through. It's about a 30-minute, 40-minute walkthrough. But yeah, we would do the commercials and the advertisements for Dwayne year after year after year, and that's where this mermaid makeups comes from. With my good friend Johnny Bullard down in New Orleans.
All right, now it's Gina's turn. Let's
There's
rock
my
this,
business
Gina.
logo.
Look at
It's
that.
the
All right.
G.
So
You know what? I
G.
don't draw anything. I do not draw. I drew that. So
so
that's
G
my
I
little
would
Unit.
logo.
so William, I would like this is going to be a Gina only. Let's talk about this logo and let's talk about your business and let's talk a little bit about whatever you want to talk about having to do with that.
Sure.
Go
So
ahead.
that's my logo for my company, G Makeup Effects, Masks and Novelties. So as like a side thing, I make vacuum form masks, and that's like my baby, my weird thing that I like to do that I just really got interested in when I was in school. So I've made like all different designs at this point. I could probably, can I grab one? Do you
Yeah,
mind if I go
grab
grab one? Hang
do
on one
that.
second.
I
Yeah,
love
grab
Okay.
some
show and
masks.
tell.
No, I was
I
gonna grab a
love, love,
couple.
love show and tell.
Show and tell. Oh, he's stuck. Okay. Sorry, I'm grabbing Santa. Oh no, I'll grab this guy. Okay. So, all right, I'm back. So I have this one. This is like my favorite original design. This is my Mr. Melt, I call him. And someone actually sent me, I don't know if Kyle is involved in any of these things, but Kyle, our former coworker and friend, sent me a music video, like an ad for a band, and the band members are all wearing this guy. So that was exciting.
I
Somebody bought
love
it without
that.
me knowing. Yeah, and
Awesome.
then just like some like little vampire-y stuff, like a Nosferatu type deal. Um,
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot, Barlow, yeah. So I have like all different kinds of masks that I've made, and then I've also started making like kind of like little novelty items like magnets and ornaments and wall hangers and different stuff like that.
We'll be vending this weekend as well at the
Yes,
halfway to Halloween.
I'll
yes,
be
that.
showing that in a hot minute. All right. All right, go ahead. Let's talk about this.
Oh
Go
boy,
Gina.
yeah.
Go Gina.
This one, well, this was in Bill's dining room in I want to say
The hell?
2018.
Oh yeah.
I think that was in his dining room. It was an
Eight,
apartment.
yeah, 18,
Um,
19.
yeah. So
Where we
that
poisoned
one,
ourselves.
we were
Can I,
given
William, let
9 days.
Gina talk.
We were given nine
I
days
know you're
uh,
excited.
to make 2 entire full-size silicone bodies. And they had to be like our only saving grace with that time frame was that they were supposed to be like drowned and bloated and gross, like very morphed, like
Right?
not, So yeah, that is the start of one of those.
I love that. Let's see what's next. All right.
Oh,
Mr.
actually,
Burns.
I'm gonna ask Bill on this one. What was that for? What was it? It was for the Found Footage Film
That was
Festival.
it was an
See if I can
advertisement for my friend Russell, who runs the unnamed footage, the unnamed
Unnamed.
found footage festival in San Francisco.
make
Yeah.
that a little bit bigger.
It was super gross. Like the effect was super nasty. It was like Bill had made this prosthetic that was a like a VCR almost that you could
It was a
put this
VHS
tape.
tape coming out of her stomach.
Oh, it's VHS tape coming
Is
out
that
of her
what that
stomach.
is? Wow.
Yeah. And like there's actually in my demo reel, one of the shots is like me pulling a tape out of that wound. Or Chuck pulling it out, I think. Or some one of the
That was
Hopefully,
friends that's
Chuck.
actually his
I
wife.
know. So I
Oh,
have.
actually.
I if I can get through all of this, then I can go over there and show the videos.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Oh
go ahead.
boy.
What you
Oh
doing
boy.
here?
I hate even talking about this. But I got conned into working on a pro-life propaganda film in New Orleans. Just got a call from producers like, "Hey, can you make a bunch of fetuses, all different stages, ripped apart, and like a ton of blood, like gallons and gallons of blood?" You get that kind of call, and we're like, "Yeah, totally. That sounds awesome." We make these things, and they just kind of like slide us a paycheck real fast. Like, "Hmm, okay." Turns out it was for like a
You didn't
propaganda
know.
film.
Next time, go in there. Make sure when they and this is for everybody, audience, please. If you are doing special effects and you are asked, hey, can you do this, that, and the other? You might be super excited to be able to get that paycheck, but do a little research.
Well,
Ask
they
some
lied.
questions.
They covered it. They covered it all up though. It was sketch.
Uh,
It was
I would have,
sketch. Yeah.
I would have sued the fuck out of them.
It was rough. It was
I would
rough.
have done that. All right, let's go. We're moving on. And remember, you sent me those photos.
Yes.
So yeah. There was some
Um,
stuff that I dug up. That was
oh no,
sent to
no, of
me.
course not.
Go ahead. And
Yeah.
what are we doing
So
here?
that goes back to those drowned bodies. We had to make full size molds for both of the bodies to like cast up in silicone. What I'm doing there is making a dividing wall out of metal shims to make it so it could be a two-piece mold that you pull apart.
All right. I think. Let's see. What am I doing? I think that might. Nope. There's. Oh, there's one more.
Bill, it's us. That was an RBFX prosthetic that we used to do a throat cut on this guy
And we
for
do have a
a short
video
film.
on this. We do have a
Oh my
video
god.
on this. I want to play
Yeah.
too.
And that's
So,
me
all
like 100 pounds heavier. Oh my god.
right, and there you are when you're fabricating.
Oh, yeah, sure was. That's when I was working on my tombstones. So for my business, I also sell these like little tombstones that have
Okay,
that I have to route, like use a router and do like engraving, and I do it in
just a lot of
foam.
dust
Yeah, so
and
it's a
everything.
lot of foam bits everywhere. So it's me covered in foam bits working on my tombstones.
All right, so I'm going to see if I can get us to where your videos are and pop that open. Let's see if I can figure this out. All right, so we're gonna go over here. Nope, we're not gonna do that. Lots of different things lots of buttons for me to push too. Let me tell you, we're gonna go over here to where your media is, and hopefully that'll pop up on there as see if it's going to come up. I'm going to give it a minute to see if I'm actually doing it the right way.
For the record, if you lose me for a moment, it's because my phone died. So I'm going to we'll see how far we go, but I might be able to plug in. I need a new phone. Apparently, my battery drained really quickly.
All right. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Bring this up here. I have to make boxes smaller so that I can get everything to fit.
Mm. Oh, wait, what's that down there? It's like I could see it on my thing, but I can't see it on the. There it is.
I know,
Oh,
because
there it is.
I just give me a minute, because like there's a few things I got to do. And that is one of the photos that we looked at, but I want to see if I can find the rest of the stuff that is on here. All right, let's just pick this. And I don't know if it's not gonna let me play it. Oh, wait a minute. Let's
go.
Oh, yeah, the screen. That's me and Bill fighting for our lives with a blood tube.
That looked good to me. Okay. That looked cool.
When he fell, he took me with him. Like we had to be very careful with that one.
Let's see. I know there's another one on here, and this one is longer. I don't think it's going to let me play it. So, and we had talked about that. Some of these things are not very compatible with each other. And I'm trying to get it to play. I don't know. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it.
Well, you can find these videos on TikTok.
Okay.
Right. So what I'm going to get out of that. Hopefully I don't bounce myself out of the show. There's that. And I'm going to transition back over here. Let's see. Not that one. It's my first rodeo. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so you guys are going to be at this. And if I can get all of that going there. I think I have to. Okay. Go ahead and talk about this, because you're going to be at this on May 1st and 2nd, or what days?
Yeah, both days, and that's going to be we're going to have a booth. Well, we're going to have side by side, 2 booths actually. And we're just going to be selling the different things that we make. Like for myself, I'll be selling my masks, the tombstones I make, magnets, wall hangers, all kinds of different little creative things that people could purchase right there in person, or they could purchase
just a
from
bunch
our
of
online
crafty
store.
stuff.
Yeah, and you make different stuff. You make
stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Shout out for Justin Haynes and Halfway to Halloween.
Yes, for real. He's
hell yes.
He's great at putting these things on.
No, thank you for having us. Absolutely.
Always. So, is there anything else that you would like to do, like shout out or anything like that, before we go?
Not really. I mean, I will say that if you can make it to Sinister, not Sinister. Well, yeah, and Sinister too.
And
But
Sinister. Yeah.
halfway to Halloween, you should do it because I think the admission's like $5.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And there's
Yeah.
going to be like the coolest stuff, and there's going to be so many vendors, and they're going to have spooky themed hot dogs. That's
And we're
the
going to
only
be
reason
doing
I'm
some.
going.
We're going to be doing some makeup effects too. We're going to be doing
Yeah.
some makeup effects to anybody who wants. So
Okay.
we're going to come down with a bunch of prosthetic transfers. If
I love
anybody
that.
wants a zombie bite or anything like that, just let us know. Yeah, and we'll be doing that for free.
Epic. I love this. I had a blast with you guys on. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
No, thanks for having us,
making your
Jackie.
mark.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I think I threw the last. Yeah, I did. Anyway,
There you-
all of my papers are now on the floor. I had them all organized, all of that kind of thing. But, well, this has been a very interesting conversation. I appreciate everybody who has come in on the YouTube channels and on Facebook Live to watch Gina
thanks for joining
Martire
us.
and William, and hit that like, share button and all of that kind of thing. Thank you so much for your ability to be able to come in there and just give a great show. Appreciate you both. This has been another production of Zombiepalooza Radio Live, and we're going to close it out.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye. Oh shit, there's people asking questions.